Hola, and welcome to the Feminist Lens. Today, we are going to have a conversation around marriage, and we are going to talk about marriage being abusive to women. I don't know, is it for women or to women?
Both and all of the above.
So, today, we are
we
going
are
to talk
too,
about marriage
we are
being
too
abusive
oppressed
to
to care
women.
about the grammar. We are too oppressed to care
You know
about the
what?
grammar.
The main thing there is the oppression and the abuse. So today we are going to talk about marriage being abusive to women. So what are your take? What do you think about marriage? Is marriage abusive to women? Is marriage not abusive to women? If marriage is abusive to women, why do you think marriage is abusive to women?
Is marriage abusive to women? Is jollof rice and chicken delicious? Like this. I feel like for us to even be asking this question
Hmm.
is a question that we are even asking from a place of privilege. Do you understand?
Hmm.
Because it's like when a certain race of people say, was slavery really that bad? It is. It was, right? And those we are still seeing the ripple effects today,
Hmm.
right? And no one in their right senses, unless they are trying to be mischievous or they are just deeply like they just deeply lack empathy, would ask questions like, was slavery really that bad? Right? So I think the reason we are here today and we want to talk about whether or not marriage is abusive to women already shows that wool has been pulled over the eyes of women for so many years. Do you understand? It's like
Hmm.
when slaves are being in slavery generation after generation after generation, and now they cannot even imagine their lives. They cannot imagine a life where they are not slaves anymore. They cannot remember a past ancestor of theirs that was not a slave. So that is what, and this might sound really extreme for people who don't understand what I'm talking about yet, and just listen as we get into it, right?
Hmm.
Our great grandmas did not have to wonder if marriage was abusive to women.
Hmm.
Do you understand? Women, everybody knew what marriage was then. There was no confusion. These days, there's a lot of confusion about what marriage is, what it should be, how men should act, how women,
How you
how
should
wives,
be treated.
what is. There was not, there wasn't confusion, hundreds of years ago. There wasn't confusion until recently in human histories when we are now in this confusion and there's a lot of questions to be asked about marriage. When our ancestors were getting married, when our great grandmas were getting married, they knew exactly what marriage was. They even while single, even though they had not been married yet, they might not have the experience of a married woman yet, but they had a good idea of what marriage was, and their mothers taught them what was expected of them.
Hmm.
Our great grandmas were not trying to partner with a man. Do you understand?
Hmm.
They weren't trying to be like, oh, I'm going to be this man's partner and we're going to do life together. No, that was not what was in their mind, in their heads then. They were going into marriage because, number one, that's just what you do as a young woman. There's no
That's your
alternative.
purpose.
That is just life. You get to a certain age, you start getting suitors, you marry one of them. It's as simple as that. It's like when you enter primary school and you're in primary one and you know the next step is primary two. It's like there's no question of, oh, so what do I do after primary one? That was just life for them. It was either that or live miserably, not being attached to a man and just being in your parents' house, and even your parents will be sick of you. That was the option, which was no option. You understand? So even a girl, a 25-year-old girl at that point was already like the way they shame women in their 40s and late 30s that are not married today is the way they were shaming 23-year-olds. They were like old cargo.
At that time, yeah.
That time you were like old. What do you mean you are in your early 20s and not married? You are old cargo. And your childbearing years are almost over, and your life will just be like useless. So that was the environment in which our maternal ancestors grew up in. And the reason they were very clear on marriage was that they understood that they become this man's property. I'm trying to be sensitive to people that would be too shocked by what I'm saying, but I still have to say it as it was. They understood that they are going to be this man's property. They are not even going to be a part of their own families anymore. Their time with their family is now over. They will now be part of this man's family, and they are going to serve this man. You understand? So when we hear these pastors these days say your husband is your master and this and that, and we are outraged by it. Back then, nobody was outraged. When your mother calls you in private and says, as you are going to your husband's house, she's not going to say, as you're about to become this married woman and partner with this. No, as you are going to your husband's house, this is how you should behave. This is how you should behave. This, and they'll be teaching you things that's going to make you a good servant to that man. No one is telling you about, make your own money, or like all of these things that we talk about today. Those were not the things that their own mothers were telling them. Their own mothers, because at that point they've already raised you to be the perfect wife. So they are not even telling you that, oh, when you wake up, kneel down to greet your husband. This soup that your husband does not like eating, don't ever cook it. They've already taught you all of that already. You've been well trained at that point. So they are just giving you like last minute whatever, like things that they might not have wanted to say before, right? Things like, I just realized that I didn't bring my charger to this room.
Is your battery dying? Will your battery survive?
It's still like 50%, but I just, once my battery is below 50, I start having low battery anxiety.
Yeah.
So they just tell you things that maybe they was not specifically part of the training before. Like when your husband wants to have sex, you don't say no.
Yeah, because it's part of your job. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, it's part of your job description. They will say things like that, like, oh, when he's talking, the way you just talk to your brother anyhow, don't try that nonsense with your husband. When he's talking, you keep quiet. When he's done, you say yes, sir. They just, all those small reinforcements, because they don't all, your performance as a wife is also going to reflect
the family you come from.
On the family and how good of a job they've been doing all this years. So it was just to serve men. Women were servants. If we want to keep it nice. Well, really, they were slaves. They were slaves that also came with additional benefits, if you understand what I mean. Because normally slaves, so they were slaves that even came with additional benefits, is what it was. So our role was to come into that man's life, and she might not even be the first one, right? So she's supposed to join this workforce
of servants.
This workforce of servants that is going to bear the master babies, and maybe work on his farm or do like provide free labor, women were not complaining them about unpaid labor. You were not supposed to be paid. Slaves don't go on riot about increase in salary. You understand what I mean? This was the life. This was the life of women. This was destiny. You know when they say find your purpose, this was a woman's purpose then. There was no other purpose than to marry a man, serve him, and bear him babies. And that was a woman's purpose. Nobody was looking for any purpose that was not lost anywhere. So when we understand that this is how marriage has been historically, and this thing cuts across different cultures, right? It wasn't just in your village. It wasn't just in the modern day Nigeria. It wasn't just in Africa. It wasn't just, this was the life even in Europe. Women were property, right? They start out life being their father's property. Then their father hands them over to a man. So this has been like global culture, and then it now transcends into religion, where they say, who gives this woman to be married to this man, right? It's an exchange of property right there.
The father is
It
giving
wasn't
you to yeah.
Yeah. So it's like transfer of property. For those of us that have watched Bridgerton, right? And that's Britain, you would see that when a man was suspected to have raped a woman, they had to get married. There was no if, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
They had to get married.
Yes.
So it's because the reason they had to get married was because that woman is considered damaged goods, right? And no man is going to marry her with that knowledge that another man has raped her or been with her. No other man is going to marry her. And with our 2025 minds now, we can be like, why can't they just leave her alone then? Does she have to marry? That's the thing. Women had to marry. So it's even that lady's family that would tell her that you have no choice, you have to marry. Like, women,
if she didn't marry, she would be damaged goods, and they wouldn't want to have damaged goods in their house.
Yeah, and she would not have a life or a livelihood. It was that serious. Because men ordered resources, so you wouldn't even have access to shelter. Like, if your parents kicked you out, there was nothing. You would just be out there in the streets, and more men will grape you. So marrying a rapist, as sick as it sounds, is how she's going to protect herself moving forward. Sadly,
It's survival.
It was her only way out. It was either that, or she would even go through even more abuse from the hands of more men. So when they've hoarded resources, you don't have access to shelter. You are limited in your ability to make a living. You don't have everything that one needs to be a fully functioning adult in society. You are practically cut off from it if you are not attached to a man. This is what marriage has always been.
Yeah, but we are talking about what marriage has been. Can we talk about what marriage is now? So this has established how marriage have been abusive to women, like in the past. Can we talk about what marriage have become, what today's marriage have become, and how it is also abusive to women, even in this generation?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So now, in this modern era,
yes,
not much has changed. A lot has changed, but not a lot has changed. You understand?
Yes.
It's just that marriage has now gone through some sort of repackaging. You know, like, let's take like household goods, for instance, maybe your detergent or even your beverage or your cereal or cornflakes or whatever.
Mm.
Every now and then they will do a sort of repackaging. The box will look different, the packaging will look different, right?
Yes, but it's the same content.
It is still the same thing. The formula hasn't changed.
Mm.
They are just rebranding the products, and you'll be seeing more advertisements on billboards and TV about that product. It's the same old product you've always had, but now is in a more attractive package,
Mm.
and they're just rebranding it to make it look more appealing to more people. That is what is happening to marriage today. So at some point, the idea of marrying for romance came in, right? For
Yes.
those of us that are religious, there was not one single. I know that for those that grew up in church, you would think that there were romantic marriages in the Bible. There was not a single romantic marriage in the Bible.
I can't think of any, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's because you are starting to think critically of religion. For someone that has not started thinking critically of religion, they can be like, oh, Ruth and Boaz, Abraham and this one, this and the other. They can be naming these couples. Not a
Yes.
single. There was nothing like romance or marrying for love. You marry who you marry and you serve him, you serve the man, and you bear him babies. But at some point, romance became a thing, right?
Yes.
And it was like something we were also indoctrinated into as little girls, because you start reading stories about, oh, all these fairy tales.
Cinderella, even movies.
Movies is always about a prince charming saving a princess, a prince charming saving a princess in disturbing ways, but somehow it was romanticized. And we now grew up with this expectation that, okay, we're going to grow up and fall in love with a man, and our lives will just be blissful afterwards.
Mm.
So we already have this script in our heads from a very early age as women. Now, that has now clouded our ability to see through the ways in which marriage is abusive towards us. You understand?
Yes.
It has clouded because if you are first introduced to something
Mm.
and it's pleasurable and it is so sweet and all of that, and then it's later on, after this idea has been reinforced in your mind, and you've had it like that for years, it's later now that some people on TikTok are now telling you that
It's
this thing
abusive.
is harmful to you or is abusive to you. It is really hard to see that. I mean, there are girls that have not even entered into puberty and they've already planned their weddings. That
Mm.
is how much little girls and women are bought into this idea, and we feel like our lives are not complete, right?
Mm.
The fact that the expectation of marriage is placed heavily on little girls, and little girls are raised for marriage,
Are
while
raised to serve, not
yeah, they
just
are
to
raised
marry.
they are raised to serve some random guy that they are going to marry in the future, while little boys are just raised to just live their lives.
To be leaders.
That alone,
They
that
just tell them
alone,
they are leaders because they
yeah,
are
they
men.
tell them they are not raised to be leaders, they are just
Just
told
mold.
that they are
Yeah.
leaders.
Yeah.
That alone is the first indication that marriage is abusive to women,
Mm.
because it takes, when girls are raised with this expectation, and when I say raised, I'm not even talking about individual parents doing this. So
Mm.
it's a systemic thing. It's like
Culture,
there's this,
religion, tradition,
yeah, there's
everything.
this agreement, there's this unknown rule
Mm.
that our women are created to serve men. Religion agrees, culture agrees, everybody agrees, right?
Mm.
So that alone is the first indication that this thing is harmful to women, because it robs female human beings, girls, women. it robs them of their humanity. I think that's the first place we should start. It robs us of our humanity. We cannot, when as a human being, you cannot, as a young person, you cannot think of the
You
great
can't
things you can
exercise
do in life.
autonomy, kind of. You are you
Yeah,
are you are not a complete being that owns yourself. You don't belong
yeah,
to
you
you.
are not a complete being. You are not your own. And religion does a good job of reinforcing all of this. Your life is not your own. I'm telling you, as we are all in church and we are talking about, oh, my life is not my own. Jesus, do this for me. Men know that their life is their own.
It's only
They
women that
might sing,
relinquish their life.
they might sing that song with you in church, but they know that not only do they know that their life is their own, they believe that your life self is their own.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
So, from a male perspective, my life is my own. Your life is my
It's
own.
my own.
So this is not just in a romantic sense. Even when you are growing up in a family with boys, right? Like as your siblings, somewhere in their subconscious, they believe that your life your life is an extra life. It's like backup. You understand?
Mm.
It's like if I have backup battery or something for my phone now, I don't have to worry about my phone battery dying. I have backup battery.
Mm.
So in their subconscious, there's something running through there that is telling them that a woman's life is your backup life. Is
Is
life that
it
you will.
because you have served them? As a child, as a girl child, you are taught to serve your brothers. They are like your husbands in your parents' house. Then they also expect that when they get married, the woman will serve them just like the sister is serving them, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Like women exist to serve them generally. Do you understand? It's not even just the one they marry. Like women just exist to serve them. But in marriage, if they are a good man, they just have to choose one. You get?
Mm.
Is the way blenders are designed to serve you in the kitchen,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
But as the good person that you are now, that you are not a thief,
Mm.
you don't carry all the blenders in the store and run away with it. You just carry
This one.
one or two. Like you only carry as much as you pay for. Do you understand? But you're not taking it home with saying, oh, we're going to be partners and we'll be churning out delicious meals. No, you are not partners with that blender. You own it. It is there to serve you. So that is what runs in their subconscious as men. And that is why when a woman is harmed by a bad man, maybe she was essayed or the different ways that men harm women.
Mm.
Even a good man empathizes with that bad man. And this confuses women because they are like, but I'm the one that was harmed. Why are you thinking up of excuses of why he might have done it? Why are you shaming me? Why are you saying, why are you asking what I wore? Why are you asking if I flirted with him? Why are it confuses women because they're like, this good guy, why are you responding to this situation in this way? He's responding in that, even though he may never have essayed a woman in his life, he may never have braved a woman in his life, but he's responding in that way because he can still see himself in that bad man. He can still understand that, well, it's like a blender complaining to you that, oh, my madam slammed me on the floor and broke me. You are not going to empathize with the blender. You'll be like, well, it happens. Maybe she was just clumsy, right? And they start to
Yeah.
think all these excuses for the good man because they can see themselves in that man.
Mm.
And they have this thing running in their subconscious that you women are here to serve us. But the man shouldn't have been rough with you like that. But you are still here to serve us. So going back to how marriage is abusive to women, I think that is the fundamental thing. Is the fact that we are literally like properties, right? And we are just beings created to serve men. So automatically that makes it harmful to us. Now, when we now start drilling down to that now, is that we've been sold this product that in its original form, it is not attractive to women. Women only did it because they had to, right?
Mm.
Women only did it because they had to. It wasn't like it was attractive to them in any way.
Mm.
Women, see, 100 years ago, women did not have babies because babies were cute. Women did not think babies were cute. Women were not planning how many babies. Women had no decision-making powers. But because things are changing now, and even though men still hold resources in society, but not to the degree to which they used to,
Mm.
right? So now, as women, we can create a livelihood for ourselves. We can have our own shelter without being attached to a man. We can have our own career without being attached to a man. We can feed ourselves. If we even decide that we want to have the baby self, we don't need to be attached to a man. So we have these freedoms already that our great grandmas did not have. We have these options. We can decide we want to be child free. You couldn't decide you could want child free out, but we have all these options now. It's now making us think, okay,
That we have marriage is
I
not
want,
abusive to us anymore because of those options.
yeah, and we are now like, okay, this is how. So things are changing, and then it's like the patriarchy is seeing that, okay, we need to repackage this product, right, to make it attractive to women. And that's where romance and soulmate and all these things come in, right? Because you wonder, when men used to marry plenty, nobody thought about soulmates that time.
Yeah.
So now
And now they
that,
sell you that you're marrying for love. So
yeah,
you're
so
not
now
a
that
servant, you are in love.
we bought into that whole idea now, it's a perfect trap. Because before, if you were not happy in marriage, you knew that there was nothing you could do about it. This was your life, right? But now, if you are not happy in marriage, you can get out of it. But because it was something you entered into on the basis of romance and love, you don't even need the government forcing you to stay in it. You don't need religion forcing you to stay in it.
Because your emotions has been attached to it now.
Your emotions are in it now. This man too, possibly, hopefully, let's assume he's a good guy. He has not married additional women. He has also married just you. So it's like, let's make it work. See, our great grandmas didn't used to look at their husband and say, let's make it work.
You don't even have that option.
As long as
They have
that
options to think of, let's make it work.
every marriage worked that time. That's the funny thing. There's no such thing as a marriage not working. As long as the man is alive and you are not a widow, the marriage is working. There's no such thing as a marriage not working. It is working. It's like you joining a company to as their employee. If you dey suffer for there, does that mean the company is collapsing? The
No.
company is not collapsing now.
As long as they are making profit, then it's
Now
working.
you get problem. Yeah. Now you get problem. So women didn't even if the woman does not have a baby, the man will just marry 4 additional wives. It's not as it doesn't mean like the marriage is on shaky grounds. It's the woman that will be worrying that I have to born also
Yeah. So I can have value.
So that I can secure my position. But every marriage worked. But in modern days now, we're like, okay, since women have options and we can live without men, literally. But because we are bought into it through romance and love, and I'm not shitting on romance and love, I hope nobody misunderstands me. But because this is how we entered into it, it is hard to get out. You understand? When it was strictly like, oh, just transactional, this is your life, you stick with this man, there was no way out. women were able to just, Yoruba people will say Bakadara. Women were able to just accept their fate and live the rest of their lives like that. But now that there are options, you would say, oh, they should just leave. But now they are bought into it through romance and emotions. It makes it difficult. Even when you are trying to help a woman leave a bad marriage, she is doing everything within her to
To
say,
make
no,
it
I'm
work.
going to fight for my marriage. And saying things like fight for my marriage is even seen as being loyal and honorable, right?
Mm.
Now, if we now think about the systemic abuse that was happening then within marriage, that hasn't changed. So I'm telling you, nothing has really changed except for the packaging. Nothing has really changed. So the reason I would say that marriage is harmful to women, and I'm not even saying, oh, to women who marry bad men, just marriage itself, is because it is systemic.
Regardless of the man you marry, is harmful,
Regardless of the man you marry.
abusive. Yeah.
So the way black people will say, oh, racism exists in the Western world.
Mm.
Somebody coming out to say, oh, but I have this nice neighbor, that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I
Do you
married a
understand?
white man. He's so nice to me. He's not racist. His family is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they even make egusi. He can even cook egusi soup now.
Yeah.
It is a systemic thing. So it means that when we say systemic, we mean the system itself is rigged against you.
Mm.
So it's possible for a man not to be actively abusing you, but the system of marriage is
It's
abusing you
abusive.
because of the cultural norms, because of these societal norms, religious, expectations, right?
Mm.
When a couple, maybe I should be giving real life
Yeah,
examples now.
I wanted to say if you can give me one or two examples
Oh,
of
yeah.
situations where marriage have been abusive to a woman, that would really help.
So I first started with the expectation that a woman has to marry, because nobody expects a man to marry, really.
Mm.
They think he will marry, but they really don't care if he doesn't.
If you
You
don't,
understand?
there is no this societal blame, this pressure, this shame attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not married because he just wants to face his career
Yeah.
or face ministry, right?
Mm.
Nobody is shitting on Apostle Selman for not being married at over 40 now,
Yes, it's true.
right?
Yeah.
But can you imagine if that was a female minister? Do you even think she would rise to that
She wouldn't.
level
No,
if
she
she wasn't
wouldn't.
married?
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
So there's that. There's also even just entering marriage to start with.
The last time we were talking, you were talking about compromise. Some compromises that women have to make in marriages that it's self-sabotaging. Do you understand? Like some compromises that they have to make just because they are married. And these compromises, they don't even have to tell them to make those compromises. They would have to make it just because they are married. And those things are abusive to women. I think you were talking about a woman having to quit her job because her husband got a woman have to quit her job and move with her husband because he got another job in another place and leave her friends and families behind because she needs to move with him.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good example. And the key term there is not her quitting her job, because even in some of these instances, she could even if there is a ready-made job for her in the new location,
Hmm.
it is still very unfair that a woman has to drop everything, leave her support system behind, leave her relationships behind, like physically speaking, right? Friends that she's had for a lifetime, her support system, her family, and everything, to follow a man to a completely new location. Men do not spend with other people the way women do. For women, community is everything. Community is everything for women. For men, it is not the same. They lack community. That is why they come on our lives on TikTok and be nuisance in the comment section. They don't have community. Do you understand? They are just like lost souls wandering up and down. But women build community. Our community is important to us.
Mm.
And a man uproots a woman
That community.
from that community is like a plant being uprooted, and you are just taking it to some other place where everything is, the weather condition is different, and that woman will struggle to like establish herself in that new community and build a new community from scratch. I feel like that's one of the ways in which marriage is abusive to women, that it is hardly talked about. It is hardly talked about, but it
Yeah, I
is
think
it
because people expect women to that they don't see it as a big deal. They see it as
they
your
don't
husband is moving. Why you not moving with him? I don't think that
exactly.
people really critically think of it and think of it as a form of abuse. I have never even thought about that because
It
normally
really is.
society has make it look like your husband is moving. Why are you not moving with him? You know?
Yeah, it's just like a foregone conclusion. Like, what are you talking about? You people are not boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, it's just the next thing to do. He moves, you moves. What do you mean? Even if you say, oh, I will move after 6 months, it's like, for what? Why? Because that man needs you. That man needs you. I remember when I was living in the US and my ex was living in Nigeria.
Mm.
I was living by myself, right? I sent myself to school while working during the day, going to school at night. And my father wouldn't even call me and be like, how are you coping? Hope the expenses are not swallowing you. How is school? How is life? He would just call me and say, when next are you visiting Nigeria? Your husband is suffering. Blows on, this is a direct quote.
Mm.
My father will say, when next are you coming to Nigeria? He wouldn't even say, oh, when next are you coming? I want to see you. Because at that, he understands that I'm no longer his property.
Mm.
You get?
Yeah.
I'm now my husband's property. So out of respect for my husband, he'll be like, when next are you visiting Nigeria? I'll be like, I don't know. I'm just saving up some money. Maybe when next I'm on break in school and this and that. He'll be like, hey, you need to make plans, oh, because that boy is suffering, oh. And I'll be like, suffering how exactly?
Yeah. So how is it that you will not? How is it that you are not suffering? How is it that it is him who
Yeah,
is suffering?
this is a man that is living with his family. Even though after he was married, he was living with his family. He was being catered to by his sister. I'm living by myself, right?
Mm.
But somehow he's the one who is suffering. But going to that whole thing of women being uprooted from their support system,
Yes.
it happens a lot. And women, other women know that, okay, even women that have not experienced it, they know that it will be tough, but it doesn't matter because, the underlying thing is that our purpose is for us to serve these men. So it is women who will even tell you that don't wait 6 months or go and join him immediately. Go and join him immediately. Men cannot even relate because what do you make community? That word does not even really carry weight for men.
Is
It
it also
doesn't.
possible for a man to move with his wife and not feel anything about, like, not have, like, is it possible for a man to move with his wife and it doesn't have same effect on him because he doesn't have community?
It doesn't. It doesn't. See, men's life are so simple that they can literally live in a shoebox. Do you understand? It
Yes.
is women that need what we consider comfort and as basic
Mm.
for us as women. For men, is like luxury. Do you get?
Mm.
It is like luxury. So they don't really feel that pain. The only aspect in which a man you can would even feel pain and you be like, oh, this man sacrificed something, is when they are having to let go of a career that they have worked hard to build. Do you understand?
Mm.
And a lot of times when men even move with their wives, they are not leaving a career behind. They are changing work locations.
Mm.
So it's often not that serious for them. But
So
if you
men,
have,
men don't make as much compromises as women, and even when they do, it doesn't have same effect on them.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't even call it compromise.
Mm.
You understand? I still wouldn't even call it compromise, because a man having to quit his job in Lagos to move to Abuja, which rarely happens but does happen,
Mm.
to move to Abuja because his wife is located there. I'm telling you, that man is not moving there because his wife is located there. The fact that his wife is located there is just
Part of the reasons.
it's just an icing on the cake. He's
Mm.
moving there because he sees something in that Abuja that is going to elevate him
Benefits
and make
him.
his life better than it is right now.
Mm.
So it's not really a compromise. It's more like an opportunity.
Mm.
So even when we see men that make that quote and unquote compromise in this context, right?
Mm.
There's more. When we see the big picture, we will know that it's actually not even compromise.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Now, this expectation that a woman must have babies is another thing,
Mm.
because they are packaging it to us as, oh, it is for partnership. Make sure you marry your friend. That's why it's important to marry your friend. It's for companionship, somebody to do life with. But all these things that I'm mentioning now has nothing to do with babies. You having companionship, you partnering with someone, having, because life is hard,
I
right?
feel like
But
babies even make it harder.
it's nice to have somebody to do life with.
Mm.
Two are better than one.
Mm.
They have more reward for their labor. All
Mm.
of these things now has nothing to do with children.
Mm.
But there is like an unspoken expectation for a woman to bear that man babies, plural. So even if you are the kind of woman now that maybe from an early age you've told yourself that, me, I don't want to born babies, oh, I don't even want to raise children, but you are bought into romance and love and marriage, you are now put in a difficult place.
You want to sacrifice that.
Yeah, you are put in a difficult place because, okay, what do you do now?
Mm.
There aren't many men out there that want to marry,
Without
and like if they want, if they are not making the commitment for marriage, they might want to be child free. But once they make the commitment for marriage, even if they start out saying they want to be child free, at some point they start feeling like, well, now we are in a better place financially, right? Like the man wants to like switch up on them.
and he will convince you actually why not we should.
Yeah. And the man has a right to think that, oh, maybe, but you also have a right to be like, no, I don't want to. But it's a very tough position to be for a woman, because a woman knows that even if I put my foot down and say no, he loves me, we will still stay married.
Mm.
But this is desire to have babies.
Mm.
He can, if he go get that baby outside and say it's a
Yeah,
mistake, you
yeah.
understand?
It puts you in
So
a
that,
difficult situation, in a difficult position.
yeah, that insecurity plays in, and she will just be like, okay, maybe I'll manage and have one or two.
One.
But the thing with babies is not like shopping at the store
Mm.
where you just buy something and you can dump it in the corner of the room. It is a lifetime commitment. It doesn't end at age 18 like people
And
say
you
it does.
cannot return them.
And you can
All I bless, I go send you my pikin small. I don't tire.
you cannot, it's not something you can buy at the store and be like, you know what, I'm tired of this thing, I don't even need it, let me return. Even if they don't want to give me my money back, let me just take it to the store. No, you can't return them. You can't. So this woman is now, she makes this compromise and she's saddled with this responsibility for a lifetime. Meanwhile, nothing about the man's life changes.
Not his body, not anything, not his health, everything is still intact. And when he gets to even do the responsibility of being a father, he is praised for it. Bare minimum.
No, there's nothing for him to do, Blossom. There's actually nothing for this man to do. He just needs to impregnate his wife. I'm telling you, that is all that is expected of a man. See, when you are all these things that you are saying, oh, responsibility of a father, there is no responsibility wey per se making impregnating wife. That is all. That is what the duty of daddy is. And guess what he gets out of that? Maximum pleasure. That is the only sacrifice men make. Nobody, you can't even tell me now that, oh, they also sacrifice money. They don't sacrifice money to raise children. Men do not sacrifice money to raise children. That money they are spending on their kids is also an investment in themselves. It is raising their profile in society. It is raising their profile
To
professionally.
say my son is this, my son has achieved this. Do you think it's the pride, the satisfaction?
I'm telling you that that son is still in diapers. He never achieve anything. That man life done better already. You don't understand. He has moved one ladder higher in the patriarchy. He
Yeah,
is a
because he
family
has a
man.
child. Yeah.
See, it's not a small thing for a man to be a family man. No. I know that women are all, I have a ring now, I'm married, I'm a missus and all of that. But that one is just bragging rights. It doesn't actually make women progress in society. Do you get? It's just something they used to do yanga to other women. But for men, being a family man actually helps them progress professionally. It helps them, they are seen in a
As
different light.
responsible. They are seen as responsible because
Yeah.
they have children. They are married and they have children.
They are married and
So it's
he
a
is a
status
family
thing.
man. They be like, I know he's a family man. In fact, there are business, like all these millionaire businessmen.
Deals.
They will not do business with a man that is single. You understand?
Yeah.
Because if you talk to millionaire businessmen, before they even care about a man's track record, they want to know if you're a family man.
What is about this family man then? Is it because you have something to lose?
Not responsibility. A family man is not just going to disappear overnight. A family man has something to lose. Do you understand? Even here in the Western world, if you want to buy car insurance, if you are a family man, your premiums will be different from a random single guy. Because there's a family back home that you actually want to live with. So chances that you will drive responsibly
Yes.
higher. So it elevates them so much in society. It makes them look, they automatically earn this badge of responsible man. Exactly. It's a sign of stability and permanence. Because, see, the world too know that men no get sense. It is not only feminists that are saying this thing. The world knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. It's like everybody knows. But when a man is a family man, okay, it's like, I don't have track record with this person, no, but I can trust them because they're a family man. There are men that have been overdue for promotion at work. They still haven't been promoted. And when I say overdue, I mean even in terms of their performance. But they still haven't been promoted because they are single. Even though nobody will tell them that, HR will not say that. But that is what it is.
I also heard that in churches, I don't know how this man who is unmarried have excelled, but I know that in some churches, for you to become a regional pastor or a big pastor, you have to be married. For you to be general overseer, for you to be regional pastor, there are some posts that is resigned for married men.
That's true. But if you are referring to Selman, um I'm just drinking water. If you are referring to Selman, I don't think he rose through the ranks of like a big church. I think he just had his
That's
own
his own.
ministry
Yeah,
and he
so
just
he can
grew. Yeah.
make those decisions by himself.
I'm not sure he really ran into those kind of bottlenecks. So now, going back to marriage being harmful to women. So there's these expectations,
Mm,
right? There's
mm,
this couple now that their videos are sort of trending
mm.
because they've had a loss. They lost their baby in the second trimester, right?
Trimester. Yeah, I saw the videos.
When I look at their videos and I imagine that lady's pain, right? As someone that has also lost a pregnancy.
Oh,
What
what's the
I was thinking
pregnancy?
about it yesterday, and I was like, this lady will still be breathing, oh. And I'm reading through the comments, and I'm seeing comments like, "You will not die in Jesus' name. You will live to see your great grandchildren." And I'm shaking my head because I'm thinking nobody is even giving this lady a chance to decide whether she wants
You
to try
want to
it.
have more kids? Oh.
Whether she wants to try, because she's had more than one loss. There's no
Mm.
space. Nobody even cares whether she's thinking, okay, I almost died just last month. I think I just want to, I don't even know if I want to do this stuff anymore.
Again, yeah.
There is no space for her to even consider that, because people are already, out of concern and love, are already telling her that she will see her great grandchildren.
And that concern might stem from them being concerned for her husband leaving her because she doesn't have a child.
Yeah, and
What if
plus,
they really care about her?
the guy is so nice. He deserves to have
A woman
a
who will give him a
mini.
child.
Yeah, he deserves to have a mini him. They've been married for a few years now. He's a good guy. He's not abusing you.
Mm,
The least you can do is to produce a human being that looks like him, for like that's the least you can do to thank him,
mm,
right?
mm.
So, and another thing with when women lose babies like that is like, it's not just the grief, it is the guilt. You understand? There's a guilt
Yeah.
that comes from it, because they are always saddled with these gifts like, maybe it's my fault.
Is
Maybe it's
there
that
something I should have done better?
there's something I should have done better. There is something I shouldn't have done. Could it have been that ogbono soup I ate? Like, there's just guilt because they feel like they are failing in their duty.
Mm.
And women, we are all affected by this thing the same way, regardless. It's the same way your great grandmother that had 20 pregnancies and only 5 survived. The same way she felt that guilt
Is how
is
we
the
all
same
feel.
way the modern woman is feeling it.
Mm.
Because as much as we tell ourselves that we marry for love, as much as we tell ourselves that we are entering into partnership with men, like Kamala Harris says, you did not fall from a coconut tree. Your subconscious knows, and
We
it will
have
be
to.
telling you that you are failing in your duty.
Yes.
And the more the man loves on you, right?
The more you feel bad.
The more you'll be feeling bad that this man is doing his part by not abusing me. But me, I am failing him
By
by
not
not giving him.
abusing me. Hola. By not abusing me. That hits very hard. He's doing his part by not abusing me. It hits really hard.
So we didn't fall. I just love that quote very much. I feel like I think about it every week, and I tell myself I did not fall out of a coconut tree. There are some things that we carry within us,
Generational trauma, generational, yeah.
generational. Do you get that?
Mm.
We cannot run away from it, no matter how highly educated we are, and it requires a lot of self-awareness
Mm.
for us to begin to mentally work on ourselves to get out of that mind space, right?
Mm.
um I'm trying to think of another scenario.
I want to ask, like, what would be your advice for women who are already married?
For women who are already married,
Mm. Because
I
I know
think
that mostly you advise married women because these girls will never marry, no go know what they talk about. They will still say, you don't know what they talk about until they enter. Then they will not see that, you know exactly what you are saying.
what I would tell married women is that you need to be less focused on the kind of man that you are married and understand that the abuse in marriage, it is first systemic.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
If the abuse in marriage wasn't systemic, no matter how many abusive men we have in society, not this many women will be suffering domestic violence.
Mm.
Domestic violence is an epidemic because the abuse in marriage is systemic. You get?
Mm.
So when we say that marriage is harmful to women, don't start thinking of, oh, the man that me I married, oh.
It's not that. It's not like that.
It's not like that, oh. No. Also, they should understand that men, they should understand that men are the ones that hold power in marriage. So even when that man is treating you well and is not actively abusing you, never lose sight of the fact that he holds power in marriage. Do you
There's a
get?
power dynamic.
There's a power dynamic. Don't think that, oh, like don't have a false sense of security. Let me put it that way.
So
Don't
be
have
on
it.
guard all the time.
You have to be on guard.
Mm.
You have to
That's
be
a
on
lot
guard.
of mental work.
See, I don't know if anybody here has. I don't do this anymore, but there was a time that I was into watching all these documentaries, all these National Geographic that they will be showing animals in the wild, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And sometimes you will see the predator. He might even see a prey be walking by. He will not even care. He will not chase. He will not, because that predator is full. He's not hungry.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But preys can never relax like that. They always have to be on guard. They don't know when the predator is hungry or not. You know, it would be very stupid for the prey to say, lion, okay. I don't know why all of you are shouting about lion, but that lion that is around the stream that I go to drink water,
He
I
did
pass
not do
there
anything.
anytime, no
Yeah.
problem. He even waves to me, I wave back.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
You can't be married to a man and be thinking like that.
Mm.
Especially when you have entered with the mindset of this is for life.
Mm.
Because when I see women that have not even been married 10 years coming on this app and running their mouths about how they've won the lottery with this man they married, I'm like, my dear, you are not even 35 yet. You still have your
You've
entire
not
life ahead
started.
of you. Do you get?
Mm.
You still have your entire life. And this man that is reigning in his power is he has this power, but he's not using it.
Mm.
You don't know. You might just get tired one day. You understand?
Mm.
Because what women should understand is that a good man, being nice to a fellow man is not hard for him. Because they are man to man.
Man to man.
Do you get? It's not hard for him.
Mm.
But being very nice to a woman, it takes a lot of effort on his part.
Because he has not been socialized to do that.
He's not been socialized to even see you as fellow human being.
Mm. So why should he treat you as such?
Because Blossom, if you have a dog now, if you have a cute dog now, and me, I don't really care for dogs, but because I like you now, I can come over to your house and be like, hey, Jack, and pet that dog on the head. It's because of you. It's not because I give a fuck about that dog.
Mm.
You get, but after a while, I might just get tired and be like, all of you will not they keep dogs safe. I don't even know what your problem is. And I'll just come out, and the way I will treat that dog will be different. Because I'm tired of putting effort and pretending like I
You like the dog. Pretending like you like the dog.
For those of us that live in the Western world, we can relate when we have to talk to neighbors and co-workers that really love pets. And we too, we have to be smiling and be like, oh, you have a
It's
dog
so
and a cat.
cute.
So cute. And it takes a lot of effort to feign interest and be making conversation and be saying, oh, so what breed is your dog? Oh, so does he? Oh, is he potty trained? Oh, this one, that one. But there are times that you just like, I beg, I don't care for you and your dog. I just cannot be bothered to put this much effort. It is like that for men too when they are nice to women. When they are, it's easy for them to even put effort to be nice to women outside, but their own intimate partners, there comes a point where a man wants to exercise his power. And when I say exercise his power, I'm not saying he's actively abusing you. Just the power to be the decision maker. For instance, he wants to exercise that. And you now you're like, but I'm your partner. And he's like,
But I'm
yeah,
your leader.
I'm still saying, even the ones that will tell you that they don't believe in submission in marriage, they also did not fall from a coconut tree. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They are also descended from men that literally bought women as property and said, you are my property. So even as they are intellectually, they are trying to be decent men. They are saying things like, yeah, women should not be treated, they should not be objectified, they should not be treated as property. What is running in their DNA is different.
They
It's
cannot
different from
erase
that.
generational trauma. They cannot erase years
Yeah.
and years of indoctrination. You
And
can't just, yeah.
let's be honest too. Who has power and is like, no, this power I have is a bad thing, take it from me? Absolutely nobody.
Nobody, yeah. Nobody.
Absolutely nobody. Even Jesus Christ said they accept worship. Do you understand? Even when Jesus Christ was telling people that nobody is good, only the Father in heaven. When people were worshiping him as God, he did not say, "Oh, don't do that thing." Everybody
Loves power.
everybody loves power. The same way you as a woman, when you have a nanny, you don't treat them like they are your best buddies just helping you out with the kids. You take your position of power, right? If you are a moral person, you won't abuse them knowingly, right? But you still hold power over them and you don't relinquish that power. That is how it is for men too. I'm telling you, if I was a man too,
You exercise your
me,
power.
if I was a man, even if I don't exercise that power, if I was a man, I would never tell you that don't submit to me. Never. Because why? I trust in myself not to abuse you. So I'll be like, I'm good, submit to me. I will not abuse you. I am submitted to God. That would be my stance if I were to be a man. Because I'm telling you, power is sweet. For you to be
And I
in
think that's
relationship,
why there is a lot of backlash, because women cannot keep telling men relinquish your power. It doesn't just work
yeah.
that way. So there's a backlash.
Yeah, because now, you know, what I can compare that backlash to that might help women understand is, imagine that you are married with 4 kids, right? You have a nanny or living maid. When December draws near and you know they have to go home on holiday, you will be stressed. Even before they leave, you will be stressed because you'll be like, so when are you coming back? You are going for a month, Abby. In your, like, you want to be the good woman, the good madam, and you'll be like, oh, no problem. 4 weeks, 6 weeks safe, right? You've been here all year. But in your head, you are already stressed, like, I'm going to cope alone. How? That is the same panic that these men are having. Because that woman before, maybe she would just wake up, she's just like, do this, do this, do that, and she's off. But now, for those 6 weeks, she can't do that. She's going to bathe every single child. She's going to cook their breakfast, pack their lunches. She now has to be responsible for all these things maybe say she didn't have to put in the grunt work before.
Yeah.
That is the panic that men are having now. Now they have to, they for the first time in their lives, you are like, a man has not had to take responsibility in his entire life. You are now saying that
He has to.
now he has to. a woman will not be his brain thinking stuff up for him, right? There was this video of this lady saying that men, you have to explain it to them like you are explaining quadratic equation to a
A
primary
child,
two student.
yeah.
Now you are essentially telling men that we will not do this work for you anymore. You have to figure out this quadratic equation yourself. They will panic. They will. It's like you've given somebody WAEC certificate. They did not go to school. You just gave them certificate and say, oh, you have this WAEC certificate. Now you are saying that they have to pass further maths on their own. They did not take lessons. Where are they supposed to start from? So, but we seeing it now, it's like these men are wicked, they are just oppressors. But when you start to see through their own lens, right, you will understand where the pushback is coming from, that these people are panicking. They literally, I'm telling you, a 70-year-old man cannot do life without his wife. I mean, like, he literally cannot function day to day. And I'm not talking about somebody that is disabled or needs his wife physically. They just cannot they just cannot be without women. The other day I was chatting with Timo and she brought up something funny. She was like, this story in the Bible of when David was on his sick bed, and the Bible says they brought
They brought a
virgins.
young virgin for him, and he couldn't
That
even touch
people,
her.
yeah, that people think that it was about sex, but it really even isn't even about that. It was to literally keep him
Care
alive.
of him.
Like, they were not even like his nurses. They were just there to join gun body and be there in the room with him to keep him alive. That is I don't want to delve into another topic, but that is the value that women bring into men's lives. So us saying that we want this autonomy now, it is like you are trying to take off their oxygen, literally. And that's why it's hard for them.
All right. Thank you very much, Ola. Thank you for your time and your patience and uh, agreeing to have this conversation with us. It was very insightful, and I'm sure a lot of people have gotten one or two from this conversation here on the live session. And eventually, when I post it on YouTube, a lot of other people, it will get to a bigger audience and they will get to, learn from this wisdom.
This is going to be on YouTube. So
Yes.
people,
Yes, it's going to be on YouTube.
my village people will see it.
So, lastly, I want to ask, like, what do you do on social media? What do you do on your platform? What platform are you on? And, if people want to find you and, listen to you more.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, but I spend most of my time on TikTok at Ola Speaks Life. And I talk about the central theme of what I talk about mostly is the beliefs that are being accepted as normal in society, but that are actually harmful to women. So essentially, I put out these videos opening the eyes of women to how these beliefs are harmful to them, and it's like I'm waking them up. That wake up, it's 2025. We have options now. Right? This is the options that our great grandmas did not have. This was what they prayed for and they never had till the day they died. We are living their dreams. We are literally living the dreams of our grandmas. So that's what I do on social media.
So, to find you, Ola Speaks Life, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And lastly, one more thing before we go. I want you to tell us why you became a feminist. Are you a feminist, first of all? And why you became a feminist?
No, zombie, I've asked me this before.
I know. That's why I said, are you a feminist? That's why I said, are you a feminist, first of all, before asking why you became a feminist? If you are.
Yes, I identify as a feminist.
Oh no.
But I can't tell you exactly how I became one. because for me, the reason I struggle to answer that question is like is exactly like someone asking me, uh uh how or why did you become a female? I was
Mm,
just born that way. You
mm,
know that even though I didn't know what the word was when I was
mm,
a little girl
mm,
or any understanding of it,
mm,
um but I just always question things. I didn't, when people tell me that that's just how it's supposed to be and this is how girls should be, and it always confused me. And I always said, but why, but why, but why? See, my problem is that the problem that I had was that it took me a long time to understand that women and girls were not full human beings in the eyes of society. I
mm,
didn't know. So I always carried myself like I have a right to be here too. And I suffered for it as a little girl.
mm.
So yeah, that's all I can tell you. I really cannot tell you how I became a feminist other than I just am. And I thought from an early age, I thought women were all that and women were special. I actually grew up thinking that, okay, let me not say that because it's going to be on YouTube. But let me, let me just say that I always thought that women were like the more intelligent gender, the more beautiful gender. That was just how I thought growing up. But
Mm.
what I was seeing in the world did not fit.
It's not
So
your reality. Yeah.
yeah, so
Mm,
I had that confusion growing up.
mm,
And then when I now grew older and I didn't have to be scared of being flogged anymore and I could talk freely. And then people said, oh, you are a feminist. And I was like, oh, I guess I am.
mm. Thank you very much, Ola. Thank you for your time and your efforts. And
Thanks for having me.
we hope to see you. We hope to see you again on the feminist lens, where we'll talk about another topic. Thank you so much.
My mumu button, whatever you say.
Thank you.